Hey, Gigi.
Hey, I'm just trying to connect you to my AirPods real quick.
Good.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Now I can. Okay, awesome.
So I have a slide on here saying that you're gonna take over the general meeting going forward. So when I present that slide, I'm gonna tell you to just pop on so that people can see your face.
Yeah.
And they don't freak out next month when they're like, who is this? Like this.
Yeah, no, seriously. And then I also want to make an announcement that we're looking for an assistant, because if I can have someone help me with the slides and stuff, that would be great. So maybe I could just pop on and say that.
You can
when
also, since our VP is graduating, you can also have the VP do that if you don't want to take an assistant, but you can take an assistant too.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, either way.
Up to you.
Either way. I mean, it might just be easier for me too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to what title that would make them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe hold off for now.
Okay, just don't say anything tonight.
Yeah. And then because I'm gonna text exec here probably in the next week or two.
Okay.
To schedule an exec meeting so that we can go over exact how you guys want to do it for next year, and if people want to keep their positions, they want to move up, that kind of stuff.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
I have my puppy here. Do you want to see her? She's sleeping.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's so cute. How old is she?
We think about 4. She's a pound puppy, so we don't know, because it's not like she was surrendered. She was found in someone's backyard. So but yeah, she gets really annoyed when I'm on my computer though. Earlier I was like doing homework and she came over and started like pawing at my computer because I wasn't paying attention to her, and I was like, don't touch the laptop, but I will pet you.
That's so funny. You're like, I can do both. Yeah, that's really funny. What else did you do today?
I had work
all day.
I had work from 3 to like I left about 4:15, 4:30. I'm just a tutor, so like, and I had a work meeting for my other job, and I had class.
Great.
Yeah.
Super fun. What do you tutor?
Mathematics.
Yeah. Sweet. For like college students?
No, it's for a specific family. I tutor their son who's in 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like pre-algebra stuff. Not hard.
Yeah, that's fun though.
Extra cash,
Yeah, for real.
Hey everyone. We still got about 3 minutes before the meeting starts, so we're just gonna hang out till then. If anyone wants to talk, feel free. So I feel like I have to like fill this absence.
I had a really busy day today.
What did you do?
So well, first I was supposed to do a workout class at 6:30 in the morning.
Ew.
And I woke up for it, and then my roommates were like, we're too tired, we're not going, and they were going to drive me there. So now I'm like, okay, I woke up at 6 in the morning and I can't go to class anyway. So I went back to bed, and then I woke up, I had class at 11, and then after I came back to the house for lunch, and I had like a pillow paddle exchange with my little, that was super cute. I would show you, but it's on the door right now. And then I had a meeting with my like an honors preceptorship teacher, and she was teaching me how to like input grades and add more assignments and that kind of thing. So that was pretty fun. Okay. And I had class, and then I went to OChem Cafe, and yes, every Wednesday. I'm like kind of really behind because I never properly learned any of the reactions. So now I'm kind of starting over from the beginning.
Who's your
hoping for the best. This semester I have Dollinger.
Okay. I love her. I actually
Yeah.
need to email her to ask for a meeting so I can ask for a rec letter.
Yeah. No,
I
you
don't think
should.
she remembers me though, because for a whole year she just saw me on a Zoom screen. So
Right. Yeah. Maybe she'll remember.
I
You
hope
can prompt her. You're like, oh, remember me? I asked all the questions
I'm
and did all the homework and
I went to
been
all of
such
your
a great
office
student.
hours.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna email her and just be like, hi, I don't know if you remember me, blah blah blah. Can we
Mhm.
set up a time to meet? And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like ask for the rec letter until like I see her in person, so she knows who I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay, well, it is 5:30. We'll just go ahead and get started and people can keep trickling in as they come. Lord, my work is on WebEx, so now I have to learn how to reuse Zoom. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yes, people can see my screen. Okay. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Thank you guys. My chat was taking a second. Okay, well, welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope classes are treating you well. Okay, so the agenda for today, we have a couple updates that I want to go over. And then the two schools we're going to be talking about today are Duke and Midwestern, specifically Midwestern and Glendale. I know they have a couple campuses. And then the two specialties we'll be talking about are family medicine and hemonc, which is the more common way that people say hematology and oncology. And then the PCE we're going to talk about is ER tech, and then we'll have a couple of reminders just to wrap up. Okay, so our first update for today, I'm going to send a link in the chat. This will also be in the recap email that I'll send out after the meeting. So the Princeton Review, our rep with them, has put together a free GRE practice test for PPAH only. It is on March 18th. I believe the hours are 10 a.m. I think he put it till 4 p.m., but I don't know if it'll actually take that long. The link to sign up is there. If you go to that link, there'll be like an enroll button and you can click enroll, and then it should say you owe $0.00. If it tells anyone that you owe anything, do not pay for it. Email me. This should be completely free. So yeah, I did want to make another announcement just for any of our new members or people who did not sign up last semester. PPAH has partnered with the Princeton Review. So what that means is that the Princeton Review, and specifically our representative, gives us like GRE prep stuff, specifically through the Princeton Review. So all that the Princeton Review asks of us is our member names and emails. I was not going to send the Princeton Review your names and emails without your guys' permission. So only people who opted in to it last semester have had that sent to them. You should not receive any emails from the Princeton Review. The only reason they ask for this is so that they can geographically track people who are using their materials across the US. If you do get emails from them, and if it becomes annoying, please shoot me an email so I can talk to our rep about it. He promised me that you should not be receiving anything like that. If you did not sign up last semester and you would like to, also please shoot me an email. I can give you more details on that. If you believe you signed up, you should have received an email from me a couple weeks ago with codes. There was a code for 15% off any GRE test prep materials and a code for 10% off of private tutoring for the GRE. I am only giving out those codes to people who opt into it, as that is meant for the people who are participating in the partnership. However, events that we do with the Princeton Review, such as this free practice test, that is open to the entire club. But if you want those discount codes on GRE prep, you need to opt in to the partnership. So feel free to shoot me an email, and I can answer any questions you might have about that and get you signed up for that so you can get those codes. I have had a couple emails asking about when the codes expire. They expire September of 2023. However, the next president, I'm graduating this year, so I will not be the president next year. The next president, I am hoping will continue the partnership with the Princeton Review, so we should get new codes next fall. Yeah. Also, if you guys have any questions at any time, you can just pipe up or throw it in the chat, and I'm more than happy to answer anything. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about Starting next month, Gigi is going to be taking over our general meetings. Gigi, do you want to pop on just so people can see your face?
Yeah. Hi guys. Nice to meet you all.
For those of you who don't know, Gigi is my assistant. I just want to make sure that since I am graduating, that there are some people who know how to run PPAH so that the transition in next year will be smooth. I will still be at all of the meetings. Your primary contact will be me and Gigi. We both will be responding to emails with the club email, which is ppah.arizona@gmail.com. So you might see a response from either of us. You can also email me independently still if you wish. We will both, answer any questions that you have. Yes, I think that's all I had to say about that. And then one other update that I did not make a slide about. I believe it was back in December, you all should have received an email from me about a CPRIT internship, CPRIT, it stands for the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. It is an internship that I myself did this past summer. It's based in Houston, but you do not actually have to be in Houston to participate in the internship. There are virtual internships as well. Basically, you can be any major. You apply, there's a screening process, then you'll get an email if you're a semifinalist. If you're a semifinalist, you have interviews with different mentors. And my mentor, who I actually still work with now, her project is Native American and Alaska Native adolescent sexual health education. So I worked all summer with them on the public health side of running that education program, and now we're working on improving it. So, and I have a couple friends who did it with me over the summer who were biochemistry majors, who were nursing majors, a whole bunch of stuff. So I highly encourage everyone to apply. It was an amazing experience. Like I said, you do not have to go to Houston for the internship. With that being said, you do get paid $6,000 if you go to Houston for the internship. If you're virtual, you don't get paid. But it's a great opportunity. If anyone has any questions about that, feel free to send me an email. I can talk about it all day long. I loved that internship, but yeah. Okay, so our first school of today is Duke University. It's based in Durham, North Carolina. I'm assuming that's how you say that. The length of the program is 24 months, and in all, it'll cost about $94,000. If some of you are looking at that number and going, that looks low for PA schools, you would be correct. They are one of the cheaper options. However, their acceptance rate is 2.2%, and that is because they are tied with the University of Iowa for the #1 PA program in the country. So it is extremely competitive. They get thousands of applications every cycle, but it is a very, very good program, and it is on the cheaper side. Some schools you'll be paying $100,000 each year. So there is no minimum required GPA for Duke, which is nice because a lot of schools do have a minimum 3.0 GPA, general and science related. Duke does not care. They do require 3 recommendation letters. One has to be from a healthcare provider that you worked for. That's what HCP means, is healthcare provider. They also require 1,000 hours of patient care experience and the GRE. Duke is one of the schools that accepts online courses and courses taken at a community college. They do not care whether they were in-person, online, community college. To them, if you took the class, that's what's important. You have learned the material that you need to learn. I've talked about online classes before in this club. It's becoming more common for schools to accept online courses, but some still do not, which, as we will see, Midwestern does not. But that is a really good thing. And community college courses are a harder one because some schools do not accept community college. As long as you have the courses, which I'll go over next, you meet the requirements for Duke. So the required courses, they do require that it's been taken within 10 years of your application. Anatomy and physiology, 6 units. They do not require the lab. If I don't indicate lab required, or I say in parentheses plus lab is not required for that course. For Duke, they prefer that you've taken the lab, but you don't have to. Through U of A, it is required for Physio 201, 202. It's part of your grade, so you all would meet that anyways. Microbiology, 3 units. You also have to take 6 units of biology classes. That can be MCB 181 and ECOL 182. That's your biology unit or your biology requirement. They do require 8 units of chemistry with lab, so that would be like Chem 151, 152 with lab. And then 2 units of statistics. And I know this happened for me, and so I have had a couple questions as well about it.
biostatistics do count for statistics courses. I know I took BIOS 376. That does count as your statistics requirement. So you are good. And if you ever are interested in a school, I actually did this for a developmental psych requirement. If you're ever interested in a school, but you're not sure if a class that you took meets their requirements, you can actually email their admissions and they will respond to you telling you whether or not that class is acceptable. I would recommend including the syllabus for that class though. So in my case, I took FSHD 117, which is like Intro to Human Development. And I asked if that would meet the University of Nebraska's developmental psychology requirement. Took them about a week and it was over winter break too. And they still got back to me and said that it would count. So you can always email admissions committees and ask them. Okay, next school is Midwestern. We're kind of rolling through this. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to stop me. But Midwestern, we're looking at the Glendale campus. So it is here in Arizona. The length of the program is 27 months. So it's a little longer than Duke's. They have a higher cost. It's about $222,000 all in. Their acceptance rate is 6.1% though, because they are not as highly ranked and they don't get as many applications for their Glendale campus. The minimum GPA requirement is a 3.0. That's, I believe, for both science and general GPA. They require 2 recommendation letters, although they do not specify that one of them has to be from a healthcare provider you worked for. It can be both professors, an employer and a professor, your counselor, or like advisor, however you want to do that one. They also require 1,000 hours of patient care experience. They do not require any testing. It is becoming a lot more common for schools to not require testing, such as the GRE, MCAT, PACAT, etc. I have a feeling that Duke's going to hop on that train here soon. So be on the lookout for that and with the schools that you're looking into. Midwestern.
Sarah, I have a question.
Yes.
If you don't take if it says like no testing required and you don't take the GRE, is that looked down upon? Like it doesn't matter?
Not at all. In fact, a lot of schools will put on their website that if you submit GRE scores and they don't require it, they're not even going to look at it. So if it's not required, I say don't take it because it's not going to factor into your application or not. If it's down to you and someone else who, let's say hypothetically, have the exact same application, but they took the GRE, you're both going to get invited back for interviews and it's going to depend on how you do the interview. Okay, they also do not accept courses with an online lab component. They specifically state biology and chemistry. They do not say outside of biology and chemistry. However, since they state that, I would assume don't take online labs if you want to apply here. I did get a private message asking if they made exceptions for science courses during COVID that weren't offered in person. Every single PA school is making exceptions for classes during COVID that do not have in-person offered. Each school differs on the semesters that they will make those exceptions for, but generally what I'm seeing is spring 2020 to spring 2021. If you took an online class, online lab during any of those times and there was no in-person alternative offered, they will make an exception for that. They might ask for proof that there wasn't an in-person offered during like spring 2021 semester, but that's going to be on a school by school basis. Okay, so required courses, anatomy 4 units. It does not say that you have to have the lab for it, but you have to take the lab at U of A, so that's fine. Biology, you have to have the lab as well. General chemistry plus lab. This one is interesting, or not, no, sorry, I'm thinking organic chem, never mind. Gen Chem, 8 units, you have to have lab. OChem, 4 units. You do have to have at least 1 OChem lab in there. A lot of schools don't require OChem labs because OChem is not a science that many people take, but they do require that you have the class and the lab. Math, also an interesting one. A lot of PA schools do not have a math requirement outside of statistics. However, Midwestern requires that you've taken college algebra or higher. Most majors here, I believe, require at least like algebra level. So you all should be okay with that. Statistics, they require 3 units. They also require 6 units of English comp. And then social and behavioral sciences, they require 6 units. As I put in the parentheses, these can be sociology, psychology, anthropology, etc. Okay, on to our specialties. So the first one is family medicine. Sorry if you can hear the car by my apartment. Average salary in the United States for a family medicine PA is about $101,000. That's kind of in the lower to middle range for PAs. Family med and primary med tend to be the lowest paid for any medical profession. But it's still a pretty nice salary. The average salary in Arizona specifically is $113,000, so we're a little above the average. Family medicine PAs work in private practice, community health centers, hospitals, long-term health facilities, etc. You can really work anywhere as a family medicine PA. Their duties will vary largely based on where you're working. If it's private practice, you might not have all of these duties, but if you're in the hospital, you might have more like performing minor surgical procedures. That was probably more for hospital working PAs. Anywho, duties tend to include diagnosing and treating illnesses or injuries, making patient rounds, ordering and interpreting lab tests, performing minor medical procedures, prescribing medications, and patient education. HEMONC. So the average salary in the US is $148,000. This is one of the higher paying specialties. That is because HEMONC is a more specialized area. In fact, you'll find it's not as common for PA schools to even have a rotation in HEMONC. A lot of PA schools, when you're going through your clinical year, will have one rotation where you get to pick where you work for that rotation. It can be you're repeating a rotation that you already did in PA school, or you're picking a new one that you're interested in. HEMONC tends to be one that people pick because they're a little interested in it, and it's not as common. The average salary in Arizona is $129,000, so it is a little below average. They work in private practice, hospitals, hospice settings, etc. I also know that HEMONC PAs can work in oncology centers, which are kind of like a mix between private practice and hospital. They specifically work with cancer patients, but it's not always the same environment as if you were going to a hospital. Their duties, it depends on your subspecialty. So very few people actually just go general HEMONC. A lot of PAs will go into pediatric oncology, adult oncology, surgical oncology, that kind of stuff. So your duties really will depend on how specialized you are within that. But in general, some duties will include writing chemotherapy orders, prescribing medications, taking histories and physicals, patient education, and sometimes actually administering chemotherapy, but it depends on the form of chemo that is being administered. Okay, PCE. So this month we're going over ER techs. The average hourly pay in the US is $20 an hour. In Arizona, it's about $17.67 an hour. Again, a little below average. In order to become an ER tech, it varies by state on what the requirements are. Generally, you need to have your CNA and or EMT certification. From what I saw, it's more common to require EMT certification over CNA. And then some hospitals might require additional certifications as well. As the name goes, they tend to work in ER departments of hospitals. And their duties are providing emergency care to patients, which generally just includes monitoring temperature, pulse, and blood pressure, dressing wounds, starting IV lines, taking patient medical history and documenting symptoms, administering stitches, compiling paperwork for patients. ER tech, in my opinion, is probably one of the patient care experience forms that will be accepted at most PA schools. If you ask people what are the common ones to be accepted, the first things that people will say are CNA and EMT. ER tech, you have to have, well, most of the time, you have to have one of those certifications anyways. And as you saw from the duties, it's all patient-centered, right? So you're working with the patient. And that's really what patient care experience is about. some of you may have heard of a distinction between patient care experience and healthcare experience. The difference is whether you're working with the actual patient. An example of healthcare experience would be working at the front desk of the ER versus patient care experience is taking vitals. So ER tech will count for most PA schools because you are actually working with the patient. Okay, reminders. Our next meeting is February 1st of 2023 at 5:30 p.m. It will be on Zoom. I'll send out the link the Monday prior. It's going to be a general meeting. As a reminder, Gigi will be running the meeting. And please make sure to sign up for the GRE practice test with the Princeton Review. I will send out the link in the recap email. If any of you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to hang out. But other than that, I'll see y'all on February 1st.
Hey Claire, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
For the GRE practice test, is it like open online for like a series of hours, like starting at 10, or like do you know how that works?
That's a good question. I need to reach out to our rep. Janet, yeah, you're on here. I'm just gonna say it. I'm pretty sure on my slides it did say that Midwestern requires the GRE. It was Duke. Oh, no, actually, I said the opposite. You might be right. I have to double check that, but thank you. But yeah, I have to check with our rep about the specifics around the practice test. He just sent me the date and a flyer. So
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
yeah. Okay.